Hey Queens, welcome back to another episode of Grow Your Confidence, where I am super excited for us to be talking about how real queens understand the importance of asking for help with your reasoning and accepting divine timing. And this episode is going to be so powerful because as we step into this new season of releasing old relationships, releasing limiting beliefs, releasing the people, places, and things that are holding us back, sometimes inside of your mind, though you know that it's your responsibility to let go of the old, embrace the new, it can be hard because the mental reasoning inside of your mind will give you all of the reasons why you should stay inside of the same place. So today we're going to cover the topic of how to ask for help, how to feel comfortable with that, how to recognize when it is your time to shift, and how to be inside of a place where you know that it's time for you to move from the old to the new. So, if this is your first time tuning in to my podcast episode, hello, hello, hello. My name is Breye'l, and I am your confidence coach. I am the one who you speak with when you know it's time for you to go from naked and afraid vibes to ready to feel more confident personally, professionally, internal, externally. I am the one for you, Queen. So I'm super excited to have you tuning into this message. So let's jump right in. So as we are inside of this season, right, of shifting, of growing, we've just entered into the spring equinox. And honestly, whenever you're listening to this message, it's divine timing for you. This is your sign that it's time for you to recognize that the winter time is done, right? It is in the winter time where things get cold, where things die off. And we all go through winter seasons inside of our life, right? Literally, metaphorically, right? We go through winter seasons. And that winter season in your life is when you recognize, like, wow, things really seem to be dying off. These relationships that I've had with friends, they seem to be crumbling apart. This job that you may have had, it seems like you just cannot get on your feet at that job. It seems like that boss that you possibly had that relationship with, you and that boss no longer see eye to eye. You and that significant other no longer see eye to eye. Maybe you have children and maybe things were going great with you and your children, and all of a sudden, you guys can't see eye to eye, right? Maybe you used to go to places that felt so comfortable for you, but now when you go to those places, they no longer feel comfortable to you, right? Maybe there were certain things you used to wear or eat, consume, watch on TV, listen to, and they just no longer feel comfortable to you. That is your sign that you are going through your winter season. But what's so beautiful is after winter always comes spring, right? We are right now inside of this spring equinox. I'm super excited to be inside of this spring equinox time. I personally have about 2 more weeks, depending on when you listen to this podcast episode, until I have my beautiful bundle of joy, my son, and I'm just excited for all of the new energy that we are birthing here out as women, right? And even if you're not pregnant like I am, we're still inside this season, this energy, this time of birthing something new. So here's the first point that we're making in this podcast episode today is that even when times feel hard, like you're going through the winter time, springtime is next, right? And I want you to think about this concept of when you see the springtime outside and you see the new flowers blooming and it's just a breath of fresh air. I want you to think about how hard it must be for that blade of grass or that flower to push through that soil and come forth. One thing we already know as well is that in the springtime, you have a lot of rain, spring showers, which is the concept of washing away the old, right? So if you have an appreciation for the springtime, if you're able to have an appreciation for the concept that you are now walking into a new fresh season of your life, I want you to see yourself as that blade of grass, as that flower, and recognize it's not going to be easy to push through that old hard dirt from the wintertime. It might be hard to let go of that relationship, to let go of that job, or if you've been let go from the job, it might be hard to embrace the reality that now you have to find something new. It may be hard to embrace the reality that now you have to find a new relationship because that relationship died off in the winter time, right? It might be hard for you to recognize that it's time for you to push through inside of a new season. But one thing I want you to know is that all of your hard work that you've been through in that winter season, in those past relationships with those past people at those past places, they are not in vain, okay? You're not walking into this spring season with nothing. You're walking into this spring season with new expectations. You're walking into this spring season with new experiences. You're walking into this new spring season with the experience of the past, those past lessons, and you can bring that now into this new spring season. It's just going to be about you being in the mental space of reasoning with yourself mentally about whether or not you really want your new life, right? Hear me out. It's about you, not someone else, recognizing and tapping in and asking yourself, do I really want this new transformation? Am I really willing to go through something hard one more time again, like that blade of grass or that flower, and push through into my new season? Am I really willing? Because, see, sometimes what lowers our confidence, what stumps our confidence from growing, is when it's time for us to wake up and smell the coffee and be in alignment with ourselves and take accountability and responsibility for ourselves and our actions and what it's going to take for us to move forward. It's easier to not think about ourselves and to reflect on that winter season about who and what did whatever to hurt us. Oh, it's this person's fault. Oh, if I still had my job, if my boss hadn't fired me, if my boyfriend hadn't broke up with me, if my children hadn't disrespected me, if my husband hadn't left me, or if I woulda, coulda, shoulda, shoulda, da. It's so easy to start to put the past into our present mind state, which prevents us from thinking about who it is that we can become inside the future, right? That is what's stunning your growth. So as a queen, you recognize that you're going to have to get your reasoning together. You're going to have to start to surround yourself with more women and more people who promote your positive vibes, who promote your next level, who promote this change and this shift and this transformation within you. You're going to have to get around better reasoning, because, see, if you stick around the old people, if you stick around those old places, even though they're uncomfortable, if you continue into conversations that just keep you talking about your past, what you've been through, it's going to be so easy for you to just stick inside that realm. And also what happens is that you go from logical reasoning to emotional reasoning, right? You go from being inside of a space where you know, you can feel, you can smell the springtime in the air, right? Logically, you can see outside that the springtime is here. You can see your shift is here. You can see that it's time for you to let go of your old and get into your new. But then emotionally, you'll start to convince yourself by surrounding yourself with the past people, places, and things of, oh no, it isn't a new season. Can you still feel the cold outside? We must still be in the wintertime. You're still looking back at those old Christmas pictures, even though we're all the way in March. You're still reminiscing on the old job that you used to work. You're still trying to be on the phone with those same coworkers from the previous job, even talking about stuff at the job, even though you don't work there anymore. You're still reminiscing about the old classes that you took, the professor that you don't like no more, the boyfriend that you don't want to be with no more, the ex-husband. You're still talking about all this stuff of the past, because it's easier, especially as a female, for you to try to get some justification about emotionally, right? But emotionally, it's holding you back from moving forward. Emotionally, when you start to just continue to surround yourself with those things constantly, it's holding you back from having a more logical reasoning of moving forward. One thing I've realized as I've grown my confidence, and one thing it is that I always um teach and work with my clients on understanding, is that when it's time for you to move out of one situation, hold on one second, getting some notifications. When it's time for you to move out of one situation and get into a new situation, what tends to happen is that you want to be inside of a space where It's hard to let go of the past, but I want you to move forward inside of the future because I want you to know anything that's happening in your time right now, in your life right now, is happening for a reason bigger than you. I truly believe that if your job fired you or they was acting funky with you at work and it was time for you to quit, God, universe, however you look at it, will remove you out of the scenario when you can't remove yourself out of the scenario, right? Oftentimes we sit here and we pray and we manifest and we say, I want something new, I want something great, I want something new, I want something great. And then when the situation shifts for you, you start to feel like, woe is me. It can't be woe is me if you said that you wanted something new, because the only reason why you got out of the situation the way you got out of it is because you couldn't get yourself out of the situation, right? It's like if you claim that you want a new job and every day you go to work and you complain, you complain, you complain, you complain, but when you get home, you aren't putting in new job applications for a new company or whatever to contact you. Don't be surprised if you get fired from work. You said you wanted a new job, but you could not emotionally detach yourself from just complaining at work every day. So you got fired. The universe gave you exactly what you wanted. God gave you exactly what you wanted. And now it's time for you to, instead of seeing it as woe was me emotionally, it's time for you to get yourself together, reasoning wise, logically, and think. I said I wanted a new job. This is what I said I wanted. This is what I said I got. So I may have to go through an emotional time right now of feeling like it's time for me to release the old, but this is the space that I'm in. So if that's the space that you in and that message resonates with you, you got to let me know that in the comment section. So that way we can connect on that. Next, let's talk about the concept of divine timing. And we actually just dug into it a little bit just then, but let's get a little bit deeper. I want you to recognize that anything you are going through in life is divine timing. Oftentimes we mess up when we want things done on our time, right? I'm not gonna lie. I'm in out of space right now where I'm just like, I want my baby to be born next Thursday. I want him to be born on 4/4/2024. But then I watched a video yesterday where the lady was talking about people that are born on the 4th tend to have a lack of father figure inside of their life. If you are born on the 4th of any month of the year and you don't have a good relationship with your dad, I'm just so curious. Let me know in the comment section. What's your personal opinion on that? Again, these are just opinions. There's no right or wrong. Y'all already know how we do here in the community, okay? But that for me was just an example of how I'm now able to kind of like release and detach and recognize that my son will be born on whatever day he wants to come, right? Divine timing for him. So I'm able to release the expectation for him to be born on the 4th, because now that I have a little more awareness or enlightening on there's a possibility that people who are born on the 4th may not have a strong relationship with their father. I'm open now to him being born on a different day because I want him and his dad to have the best relationship. With that being said, again, we are talking about the concept of divine timing. Sometimes you want things when you want them because you think it's the best time for you to have them. But what you have to recognize is that God has something bigger out there for you. And maybe it may not come at the exact time that you want, right? It may come in a little bit of delay. It may come sooner than you think. And that's a concept for you to think about inside of your mind too. Sometimes you think it's going to take a long time for you to get your breakthrough. Sometimes your breakthrough is right there at the beginning, but because you are so emotionally attached to the outcome, because you are so emotionally attached to the point where it has to be like this, like this, like that, you are holding yourself back from the energies being able to make the play for you and make it even bigger and better than you originally thought that you wanted it to be. That's why, as a queen, again, you have to be okay with asking for help, asking for a clearer understanding and reasoning inside of your mindset. You have to be okay with surrounding yourself with people who push you forward, who you can talk to that can help you clear your mindset, because a lot of the realms that comes with confidence is your reasoning behind how you are acting, your reasoning behind how you are feeling. See, that's the reason why confidence is not something that you could just go inside the store and buy and just put on. Confidence comes from within, but within means mentally, within means emotionally, within means spiritually. Where are you at on your scales when it comes down to how logically you're thinking about things, how emotionally you're thinking about things, how on a spiritual realm, how tuned in, tapped in, turned on are you to your own energy of divine timing, knowing that whenever something is meant for you, it will play out. And see, what happens when you block divine timing, you become so attached, right? to the outcome happening at a particular type of time in a particular type of way, that you move out of a space of gratitude, right? When we work together one-on-one, what I help you get a clear understanding of is recognizing that between the now and the then, the in between, the in the meantime time, we work together to help you get a better, clear understanding of the woman that you are becoming in the meantime. That's where true confidence is, right? It's your passion, it's your clear understanding. It's your thinking logically and emotionally. It's your confidence. It's your authentic. It's your ability to be authentic, right? It's you getting more clear on who you are right now, because again, it goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of this episode. When you are leaving out of your winter time and going into your spring, the authentic version of you will always be there, but it does not mean that you're still going to be the same person from last year. You must grow. You must elevate. Your confidence must grow. Your confidence must elevate, meaning that you should not be the same person that I met back in 2015 here all the way in 2024, right? Your authentic vibrational frequency should still be the same, right? That's where the confidence lies, but you should be a totally different person. And sometimes that's what you don't understand either, is that the reason why you are going through your winter period is because you are outgrowing the people of your past, but you cannot continue to hold on to the concept or the reasoning that you're afraid to let this job go. You're afraid to let this relationship go. You're afraid to let these people go. You're afraid to stop going to these places, all because you think that these people will judge you. You should want to be surrounded by more people that care about you, that support you, that empower you to be on a higher vibrational frequency. That is how you grow your confidence. That is what real queens understand. That is the energy that real queens are on when they know that reasoning is something that inside of their mind they're willing to work on. They're willing to get their mindsets together so that way your confidence grows personally, and then that pours over into you being more attractive to different opportunities, being more attractive and receptive to new relationships, platonic and professionally, right? Oftentimes people ask me, well, Breye'l, how did you get married so fast? Like, how did you meet your husband and get married in 60 days? And how did you move out of the country? And how did you manifest all of these things? It's because I learned to adjust my reasoning. I learned to get into alignment with divine timing. And I also learned how to become more attractive personally, professionally, and physically to what it is that I desired. So happy you ladies were able to tune into this podcast episode. If any of this resonated with you, please leave me a comment down in the comment section. If you are interested in us working together one-on-one, there'll be a link down at the bottom of this podcast, at the bottom of the podcast, for you to fill out a form and schedule a call with me on my Calendarly. And that way we can get in contact with each other, and you and I can then speak one-on-one about how it is that we can begin to grow your confidence. So super excited to be inside of this new season where we are growing our confidence. So until then, ladies, I'll speak with you soon.